What up, Jay?
What's going on? I'm chilling, man.
Slow motion, rainy Wednesday.
I know. I feel tired off this shit.
Recently, I think it was like a couple days ago, we did an interview on the Michael Williams Jr., Roy Jones situation.
Yeah.
Michael Williams Sr. reached out to you.
Yeah.
Like, what's your thoughts on the situation? After getting clarity from one side. I mean, you hadn't talked to Roy yet.
I respect shit like that. Like, I mean, when the man get on the phone, I mean, he want to talk about it. You know what I mean? He called me. He was like, "Gee," he's like, we known each other for a while, which we did through the social media. You know what I mean? He always been cool. He used to talk a little shit about me, but it wasn't like nothing. He was trying to run me down. He was just talking shit, getting the rise. You know what I mean? I never took it personal. He was always cool. So, but what he was calling to tell me about, he said, "Gee, I respected a lot of the shit you was saying because it was right about how I came off." He said, "But one thing, G, you know about me," he said, "I've been taking care of my son since day one and also taking care of his career. I mean, I ain't never need no money that bad." And I said, "Well, I don't know you personally, but from the looks of it, yeah, you definitely have." So I apologize to him about that part. I said, you know what I mean? Because I could be reading it wrong too, based off how you were saying shit. I said, but from the way you were saying it, it made it look that way. And he was like, "Yeah," and I apologize about that too. And I did kind of snap out on the interview. He was like, "But you know what I mean, G, I took care of my son, man. I paid for a lot of shit, and I just wanted my son to get a bag. I wanted, you know what I mean, of course." He's like, "And at the end of the day, we fighting for money. You know what I mean? Guys fight for money. Like, let's be real." I'm like, "No, absolutely." But you know what I mean? It's always a misunderstanding between men. You know what I mean? But the understanding is we can get on the phone, we can meet up in person and talk about it. You know what I mean? And it could be some cool shit without it being violence. You know what I mean? It wasn't no crazy talk. He ain't call me cursing. I ain't get crazy with him. It wasn't no need for all that. We got on the phone, we wrapped it out, and I respected that, and he respected it as well. And we move on from it. You know what I mean?
I'd explain to the fans when Michael Williams Sr. says he spent a lot of money. Explain to the fans the process of getting a young guy fights and moving him in his career.
Well, when you don't have the luxury of working with the big promoters and having them back your situation, backing meaning financially, then you got to do it yourself. If you're not able to do it yourself, then you kind of do it the way I did it. I did it a little fucked up, well, more than a little fucked up, but I did it in a way where I just went at it because I just wanted to learn the sport, but I didn't put myself in the best physical shape. I fought at any weight, you know what I mean? I was walking around that. So what Mike did, opposite of what I did, was back his son's career and made sure they got the right fights. Now, how do you do that? You get in touch with the promoters, you let them know you want to slide on the card. Sometimes they charge you, sometimes they don't. So you paying from the rip. Before the fighter even fight, you paying, boom. Then if you gotta fly a guy in, you gotta pay for his flight. And the most likely, if you gotta pay for a flight, you gotta pay for him to stay. And then you pay for also, which is called his per diem. So you making sure he eat. Now, and you pay his purse. Now, when he get here, it's possible he could knock your fighter the fuck out. So you lose money, win, lose, or draw. You know what I mean, with this shit. So what he was trying to explain to me was, "Gee, I had to back my son's career from day one." So we talking about a kid who went 19-0 before his first loss. You know what I mean? So we talking about 19 fights where his father had to dig into his own pocket, or they may have had help with sponsors and shit like that. But that money, you know what I mean? That money burned like the other money burned.
Now tell me how expensive, like mind you, I have an estimated guess, but for the fans, how expensive can that be?
I mean, the better the fighter, the more the money. So, I mean, he get the guy, the first fight might have spent $4 grand altogether. But then you get him 5-0, you might be spending $6-7 grand. I mean, he get to 10-0, now you might be spending 10 grand, 10-15 grand altogether. You know what I mean, to make these fights happen. So,
and then the price goes up a lot more if you're knocking everybody out?
If you're knocking everybody out, or you just got that pretty record, that undefeated record, the more you got to pay the opponents, or the more you got to pay, you know what I mean, to make this shit happen. So, because they gonna want, it's some guys who don't come in by themselves. They got a team with them, a full team. Well, look, I got a team of 2 other men and me. That's 3.
And then you gotta fly them out as well.
Yeah. So now I got 3 flights. You know what I mean? 3 per diems. You know what I mean? Two hotel rooms. Because what they try to do is, all right, well, the 2 trainers can stay in the same room, but then you, some people that's not going for that shit. They're like, no, we need our own rooms. So, you know what I mean, each guy get a room. So that's 3 extra rooms. I mean, 2 extra rooms you paying for. along with the fighter. You know what I mean? It's a lot of money that get kicked out. So when he said it like that, I had to respect his hand on that. You know what I mean? That was some real shit.
You do realize that a lot of fans don't understand that that these managers and these promoters are, let's say, on the low end, 50,000. On the high end, with a top guy, 100, 150, 200,000 in on moving the kid's career.
Yeah, and they think people outside of the sport think it's just two guys match up and they fight and they make money. It is a lot of money lost. That's why we try to explain it without saying everything, and I may have said too much just now, but that's how it goes. I mean, if you try to move a fighter.
So essentially, what are you paying? What are you paying all that money for?
You paying for the win. You paying for the win. I'm hoping my guy win. And I'm trusting in the matchmaker to find the right match for us to move on to the next level. It's not a game that's, see, the thing is, it's not misunderstood nowadays. When I was fighting, I didn't understand. I'm thinking, all right, yeah, y'all calling me in to fight, but I'm thinking that, you know, they get ready to call this shit 100% for me. But A-side mean you up a couple extra rounds before the fight even start. You know what I mean? To be honest, but it's an understanding within the sport. So it's no love lost. I mean, I knew exactly what's happening after about 7 fights. I knew what it was. I'm like, well, all right. I mean, I get what it is. I get what's going on. And then I realized, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm not gonna tell y'all the numbers, but when I fought Jarrett Hurd, I saw his check. I saw my check. I understood. Right then and there, I'm like, okay. All right, now
you got paid more than Jarrett Hurd?
A lot more.
Because he needed to win.
He was the A side.
He wanted to win.
Yeah, and of course he probably made an extra couple dollars off of tickets and shit like that, but it wasn't a lot of money. So they put a lot of money into these kids to get them to where Jarrett Hurd ended up being world champion.
And then basically you start off in the red, but then when you get them to that A level, that title level, then that's when you make all your money back.
Not all the time, though.
No, not all the time, but I'm just saying that's the goal.
Yeah, the plan is to make the money back and more. Yeah,
the goal, it's a long-term investment. Okay.
You got to be fully invested.
So, Michael Williams Sr., 19-0. Well, Michael Williams Jr. is 19-0, so I'm going to guess and say Michael Williams Sr. probably is like 100 in the hole.
150, yeah, some shit around there. Yeah. I mean, so when he said he was looking forward to the Broner fight, that was most likely to even out. You know what I mean? So I can't be mad at the man. I mean, at the end of the day, and I'm not no sucker, and he ain't threatening me, and I'm not taking back my words. No, I said a lot, and I meant a lot. But we got an understanding about that one thing. Damn, G, he said, G, I put a lot of money into my son, bro. I work hard every day. I don't need that money, but shit, I put a lot of money out too. I would like to get some back. I would like my son to eat, so I can't be mad at him. You know what I'm saying? I'm investing in my son right now with football. So, you know what I mean? I get it. And I don't even count it because it'll give me a fucking headache. Because I'm doing it on my own. You know what I mean? So, I get it. You know what I mean? I understand. So, people, I mean, like I said, like we was talking about the other day, people be being tough on these guys, man, but they really don't know what we go through in this joint. You know what I mean? I'm dealing with a fighter right now where we don't have the financial backing. And I gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta take my, you know what I mean, my skill set and turn it into business. You know what I mean? And and also I gotta make sure he prepared to be a product. You know what I mean? I gotta let these people know, like, listen, this is what we got here. You know what I mean? But he gotta be there every time. So this shit ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? Shit not easy at all. So it's the game though, and we love it.
Hopefully, I'm a Roy Jones fan. To me, Roy Jones is Superman. Hopefully the situation between him and Roy could be worked out.
I think it will, because at the end of the day, right, that kid 23 years old, and I told this to his father. I said, he 23, got one loss. He gonna be back. He gonna be back. He just gotta be ready. You know what I mean? But he gonna be back. And he was like, I agree with that, Jay. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's not an injury that can't be fixed. Now, if it was an eye injury or some shit like that, or he lost his hearing or lost his sight, that's something different. But, I mean, this is a broken jaw. Broken jaws can be fixed. And I've seen them get fixed. So, you know what I mean? Shit. I think Young Boy gonna be back and making some money.
man.